What up, man? Oh, all right. Well, it's my tears from this morning. Um, Today is my late grandmother Carolyn Rison's birthday, so I feel it's only right to put my foot down with myself and really make this first episode, of No Parachutes, the Rep Collectors. Um, it, there's no need to name it right now, to be honest. But there is a very, very real um, meaning to each of the names that I've given any of my podcast series, whether it was Where Grit Meets Grace, um, which, funny enough, the last week at church, the sermon, Pastor Earl was mentioning the grittiness of the journey and the path that some go down and the grace that needs to match that. Um, you've got the Grit Meets Grace podcast series, the No Parachutes, the Rep Collectors, Gassed Up or Passed Up, Invest in You. All of the things that I've put my mind to in regard to what I'm doing and what I'm trying to present, all of these things they've dissipated because the principle that they've been laid on has been establish a way for me to essentially make money off of the words that I'm saying. And that's not really that's not that's not the purpose of this. That would be a great byproduct, but even in that, addressing it as a byproduct is just it's almost negligent when you take into consideration what the goal of this really is, right? And so my grandmother, getting back to that point, um, you know, I believe she would have, if I asked her for her birthday what she wanted this year, I believe that her response would be along the lines of, you know, for you to continue finding and trying to find the opportunity that's going to bless and take care of you you know, from a family standpoint, but just continuing to become the man that decided to become, even in the ups and the downs, because they are inevitable. Continue letting God lead your heart towards the things that are going to do for your people what you want them to do. And in that, I asked my wife, what should my podcast topic be about today? Um, and, I asked her, what should the first episode of, me getting back into my podcast be about? And another point of the recent church sermons and activities that I've been a part of, she said she would want me to speak about what it means to me to speak to mountains. And so I'll just say this about where that came from, as we've been a part of Shoreline City Church out here in Dallas, and We've started to get more involved in the church. We've started learning more about the church pillars and everything that the church believes in out here, and you know, love it. So the one thing though, that really stuck out to me in their 12 pillars, or their 12 stones, we'll call them, is what they call them, was we speak to mountains. And that's because my entire life, I have, I don't like the term phrase against the grain, but I have sought responses from situations in life that most people would shy away from or just blatantly run from. Invest in you. Um, so the speaking to mountains thing for me, we'll have to get into that in kind of a different episode, more in depth. But from a business standpoint, from a life standpoint, a social standpoint, I oftentimes believe in the possibilities that most think are impractical, improbable, most likely not going to happen because the internal and external work that must take place for that to be executed are exponential. And I believe in that exponential opportunity and possibility. It's not even a possibility, it's inevitable. It just takes the work and the time, the patience, the love, the persistence, the grit, the grace, and that mountain will move. And it takes God. And so to speak to mountains to me means to speak to this impractical opportunity that I want to do something that's never been done, and I want to change something for everybody, in a way that's better for us all. That's very impractical, improbable as well, but I know it's possible because people have done it before in many different ways. I cannot go through life approaching it as if I'm somebody that can't do something that's already been done. If it's already been done, even if it's in a different form, fashion, industry, I do not care. If the difference has been made in any way across this planet, I can also do that. Now, when you talk business, it is not just something that you can say we're going to do it and then think that it's going to happen. It's going to take more humility and aggression and confrontation than you could ever expect. And for confrontation and humility to live in the same place, you cannot be relying on your human instinct because we are so emotionally driven. Even those of even the Jeff Bezos of the world, even the Steve Jobses of the world, right? They have an impractical relationship between humility and confrontation, aggression, forward progression. Their humility may not be founded in the foundation that you or I have, but I can tell you that the foundation that I have, humility and confrontation must be at an equal level, and that level is extreme. Both of those must be held to a standard that 99% of people will not hold themselves to. And so to be able to have this level of confrontation and this level of humility, and grace and grit and love and loyalty and respect, honor. You're, I don't know about you, but I'm going crazy. I'm losing my mind has already been lost. I lost it once going the wrong way. Now I've had to lose that person and find myself going the right way, in which case my mind has no kind of conceptual grasp to this balance of humility and confrontation. So to speak to mountains, to call God and ask to move a mountain, your belief has to be unwavering. Your trust in self and the reasoning has to be unwavering. The love that you hold in your heart for everyone that you feel bringing contention to you has to be unwavering. Your discipline in regard to the very things that you never wanted to do, but it was put on you, has to be unwavering. And it will bring you to tears. It will make you fall to your knees if you actually do not waver. A warrior is not a warrior because the warrior feels nothing. The warrior feels everything. When you think about all the best warriors, whether it's in movies, TV shows, stories, folk tales we've ever heard, all of these warriors have some type of emotional roller coaster. None of them are just steadfast. They are all drawn to bloodshed by the height of their emotional intelligence. And sometimes that is that I know I must take the life of everyone that comes our way in order for us to just be able to keep the sheep protected. We are not all shepherds. We are not all sheep. But guess what? Those aren't the only two types of people. Then you've got the wolves out there. And some people, even myself at a point in time, think that the wolf is a something you should respect being. And that's cool if that's you. But as a shepherd, you've got to know that you have the same power of the wolf. You can take the life from the sheep at any moment, but you also instill life in these sheep. You instill the opportunity for sheep to be sheep in them. You are the very reason that they can continue on the path they're on without worrying about the danger that's around the corner, without worrying about what's lurking in the shadows of the tree line, without worrying about how it's actually going to get fixed. You're the one that has to worry about the how. The sheep just reap the benefit of the shepherd. That, and yeah, there's a mutual, respect and benefit to that ecosystem, but it is not that it's not that you all are working together. And I think a lot of people in a shepherd's position that need to be the ones that speak to mountains get too, excuse me, get too caught up and get misguided by the wrong voice, and they speak to the sheep because they want the sheep to go around said mountain, go over said mountain, go through said mountain, instead of calling on God to move the mountain when the mountain is to be moved. How else is it going to happen? You're not, again, I'm starting to get a little turned up, but in speaking to these mountains, You must understand you are speaking to God. What's easy is not meant for you. It's not. And so to think that what you should be calling on him for is something easy, you're wrong. You're wrong. And sometimes it's just internal, sometimes it's an external battle. But you have so much that you are responsible for. Do not let the question that God asks you when you get to the gates be, why didn't you follow the plan? Because look at how many people stayed lost because you didn't follow, because you took the easy way out and focusing on only you. You have no idea how many people need you. You have no way to conceptualize the effect that you have on every walking soul. You have no way to conceptualize it. It doesn't, you shouldn't even want to conceptualize it. You should just want to keep going. I can't tell y'all what I'm feeling. I truly cannot express what's going on with me right now. I cannot. I cannot. And I don't want to try. I don't. I don't want to try. And as someone who spent so long trying to get everyone to understand me, to get every, it's not what you're here for. That's not it. It's not for them. It's for them, but it's through you. It's through you. They're never gonna get it. They're never gonna get it. And that's okay. Talk to God. That's who's gonna move those mountains. Some of those mountains are things going on inside of you, problems you're having because you're relying on your own understanding of this life and you don't even have a clue. Your intuition pulls you somewhere and you fight against it. Why? You're making it so much harder on yourself. You hear the voice calling you and you fight against it. Why? I would rather see the pain of the loss early, like now. I've seen the pain of loss of my people, of opportunities, and many a things through the reliance of one's own understanding. Everything I've done to make an impact. And we're nowhere near the impact that I thought I was going to have. But it's because I've been leaning on my own understanding of how to make that impact. And I'm just so emotional because people who know me, people who really know me, I mean, they know the walls I will run through. They know the walls I'll run through. I ran through the wrong walls for a long time, and I can see everything that I missed because of it. And until you start looking at all of that stuff, everybody wants to post the 10-year, 2016 to 2026. Here's my glow up this, my 10-year, blah, blah, blah. What has come of your heart in the last 10 years? What have you actually done for the people in the last 10 years? Most people, that question and answer kind of just floats in the wind because they're sheep. That's okay. Being a sheep is not a bad thing. But the shepherds, you have to calibrate. You have to calibrate. And in me calibrating, I have realized that I've missed out on so much. I've missed out on so much teaching because I'm leaning on my own understanding. I've missed out on so much learning because I'm leaning on my own understanding. I've missed out on so much freaking love because I'm leaning on my own understanding. It doesn't mean conflict is not going to be here and be a part of this. It just simply means the way we confront these moments, the mindset we walk into and out of these environments with. If you truly haven't thought about the change that has happened in your heart over the last 10 years, I feel so bad for you because 10 years ago, we went, matter of fact, this right here, 10 years ago, shoot, I hope I didn't press any buttons. 10 years ago, we went undefeated. 2016, Southland champs. We went undefeated 10 years ago. And if you would have told me at the end of that journey, that season, that I'd be sitting here right now feeling how I'm feeling, going through what I'm going through, I would have believed you. I would have believed you. But I would have had so many questions as to why I let myself get there. Because I know. I know better. I know better. I know better. Not leaning on my own understanding, but I freaking know better. Because I've seen it. I've seen so much. I've been a part of so much. We went freaking undefeated this year until we got whooped in the semifinals. We put in so much. We put in so much to get there. On the inside of this ring, it says it's science. And it has my name. We went 12-1. Winning is a science. There's a method to winning in life and business. The science to winning in life and your heart is the book. We don't even have to try to figure out, all the book. That is the science to winning in life, in your heart. And then when it comes to situations like this where you have very clear confrontation, competition, there is a science to winning. And that formula is so important that you follow it. All it takes is one play. All it takes is one play to change the course of the rest of your season. I would have never understood why I let myself get to the point I'm at right now, which is being so lost, being so lost that I have truly found myself lost. And I still don't know what's going on. The thing about saying that is, I also am, with all humility, with total humility, I know a lot about what's going on. And the thing that brings the emotion so to the front of my existence about this all is that in knowing that I have no idea what's going on, I can see, observe, analyze, and understand so much of what's going on. It's a tough place to be, but it's not, the existence is not for me to be able to understand what's going on. It's to be able to manage what's going on around while I lead those who are to be led by me to where they're to be led to. Everything has started mattering so much more than it used to. Everything. I'm gonna end this with this. Matthew 17:20. Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Speak to mountains not because I believe they move easily, but because I've learned they respond to faith paired with action. I no longer rush the climb. I no longer disrespect the weight of what is in front of me because the biggest things in life are not beaten by force. They're met with commitment through confrontation, one step at a time. I have fallen. I have doubted. I've questioned whether the summit was actually real or just something that I needed to survive the climb. But I kept walking. I kept walking. I kept walking. Confused, lost, refound again, wondering this aggression, what is it? Why is it here? And I learned that when it's aligned, it's not anger, it's direction. Compassion is not weakness. It's what keeps you climbing when quitting makes sense. And so as I lean into myself, I am no longer asking for the mountain to be smaller. I'm making the conscious choice to continue evolving and becoming someone who can stand in front of it with unwavering faith and speak to it and trust that it will do what's meant to be done. The mountains do not move for wishful thinking. They move for those who walk and who talk with faith in their chest and obedience in their steps. That mountain will move. I love y'all. I hope that it starts to become clear for you. I do. One love. I'm out.